been around the block.
Been in this game for years,
Yeah,
Rich.
A little bit. And have I seen it all in terms of quarterbacks wanting their money. I mean, you've seen it all. Let's just even use just the last, 2 years, okay? We've seen so many different paths to quarterbacks saying they want their money. It's Aaron Rodgers, okay? We all know what Aaron did, where he went radio silent. Then it was draft day in Cleveland, of all days, to let out there, although he said it was not from his camp. That he was done with the Packers, not coming back anymore. Anymore. Then the whole the summer of Aaron, where he, hosts Jeopardy, saves DeChambeau's bacon, all of that. And then he shows up in training camp anyway with a new relationship with the front office and what it might mean and trust and respect. And he wins another MVP award and then winds up with a guaranteed contract, mostly with $50 million a year annually. That's one guy. Then you got Kyler Murray. He wants his money, doesn't he?
Yep.
I love that I keep this up on my desk.
It's just there, within reach.
We should get
Great
that laminated,
stationery.
Yeah,
His agent with the Jerry Maguire treatise. Front loading. Hey, if it all turns south, don't blame us. He wants to be your guy, right? In bold letters. 2 things. He absolutely wants to be your long-term quarterback. 2, he desperately wants to win the Super Bowl. That was his direct with loyal Arizona Cardinals fans in the great community of the Valley statement from his agent. That's what he wants, his money. Deshaun Watson found the fact that he had leverage despite 22 civil cases hanging above him. By the way, there is already some video of his depositions leaking out.
Oh, gosh.
I saw some last night on my Twitter timeline. That's not going to bode well for Cleveland. But he still had the leverage of all sorts of teams coming at him. And he used it to get $230 million guaranteed dollars from the Cleveland Browns. That's another way to say you want your money. Right? We've seen there's just 3 different quarterbacks of different stages of their career saying they want their money. And the one thing that's the through line that's all similar in these apples and oranges and kiwis or whatever you want to say is that they said they wanted their money. Because that's what you always hear. And then you've got the Baltimore Ravens, who are the ones saying in this situation, I've never heard this in 20 years. Hey, stud quarterback, generationally talented quarterback. The one who kind of had us at hello when Ozzie Smith went and traded up into the first round in his final draft in charge of the Ozzie Newsome to trade up in the final pick of the first round of his final draft in charge of the Ravens. They love him. I've never heard of a team saying, hey, we want to give you the money. We want to talk. And the quarterback's like, sometimes.
Well, I'll get to it.
We get around to it.
I've never heard of it.
It's a little weird.
Which leads to, again, nature abhors a vacuum. So what pours into it is people saying, if he's not asking for it, because everybody asks for it, everybody sometimes demands it. I just went through the whole ways it can be demanded, the manner in which the demands can be communicated. Never heard of somebody like, yeah, we'll get around to it. I'll figure it out. Especially when he couldn't finish the last season, Lamar Jackson, because he got hurt. And you can get hurt worse. And then suddenly you don't get the money. And there's the team saying, we want to give you the money.
Take the money.
So into that vacuum comes, maybe he doesn't want to get it from this team. So cue Lamar's Twitter account today. I love my Ravens. I don't know who the hell putting out that false narrative out that I'm having thoughts about leaving. Stop trying to read my mind. And then some emoji. And Lamar, it's you not asking for the money. And you may want it or love your team. We're not used to this. I'll be honest. We're just not used to it. Nobody's used to this. You know who's definitely not used to it? Is everyone in the Ravens who's doing their best to not say that this doesn't compute to them. Different ways of that being communicated. Eric DaCosta a few weeks ago saying that we're waiting on Lamar. John Harbaugh on Monday said Lamar isn't interested in delving into it right now. And then that's what he said to my colleagues at NFL Network, and then had this to say on Monday at his press conference.
I don't have any information on that. I haven't heard anything new on that. Lamar hasn't talked to me about that. As far as I know, he hasn't talked to Eric about that in the last few weeks. I think he's just focusing on training right now. When we get back, maybe another conversation will be had. When we get back in April, possibly. I assume, with Lamar, you never know. I mean, it's not really just in the forefront of his mind. Whenever I talk to him, I'd love to see something get done. I think he is planning on something being done. We're planning on something being done at some point in time. But, the way the rules work right now, it doesn't have to be a huge priority. I'm confident it's going to happen. Of course, like you guys well know, until it happens, it hasn't happened. But I'm confident it's going to happen. I know he's going to be our quarterback. And really, when you're coaching and you're playing, that's what you think about. We know we're going to be playing this year. Lamar's going to be our quarterback. I've got to do the very best job I can to have him ready to play his best football. And that's really what my job is, and that's what his job is. So that's what we're focusing on.
All right, hit it, Jake. Go for it. Hit it.
What were they really thinking?
Normally I go on and on and on with this thing whenever I do what were they really thinking, but in this one it's just like, hey guys, you tell me, okay? You tell me. You tell me. I only switched from Flacco to Lamar in the middle of a season and have totally remade the playbook for him. I did it midstream in a season. I love the guy. You tell me. That's what he really wants to say. He's never seen it before. Steve Bisciotti. You want to talk about not seeing something? He hasn't spoken in 4 years to local media. 4 years.
Jeez.
He doesn't like to speak. He leaves it. You want to talk about an owner who delegates? This is an owner who delegates. You do this, you do that, you do that. I show up. I want to root for the team and win. Okay? You tell me what you need, I'll give it to you. That seems to me his management style. And keeps people in their place, doesn't churn through people. He spoke to the media yesterday. Wonder why? Well, I think he wanted to say a couple things. First thing he said, this is great. I love this guy. Talking about the contract with Jackson, who's entering his 5th-year option. Who goes into the 5th-year option? Yeah, I'll play on that. He says, I'm trying to answer that when I had a reaction to it. And he's talking about Watson's contract now. Deshaun Watson. And it's like, damn, I wish they hadn't guaranteed the whole contract. I don't know that he should have been the first guy to get a fully guaranteed contract. You could say that again, Steve. To me, that's something that is groundbreaking, and it'll make negotiations harder with others. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to play that game, We shall see. If I was in bogged down negotiations with Lamar, then maybe I would have a quicker reaction to that news. Calling Jackson's decision to wait, quote, unique as hell because everybody expects you to say, I've got to get mine now. Yeah. We've never seen this before. Ever. Now, asked why he thinks this is the case. God bless this guy. He says this, the kid is so obsessed with winning a Super Bowl that I think deep down he doesn't think he's worthy. I think he wants that to say, now I deserve to be on top. People can speculate any way they want. I don't think he is turned on by money that much, and he knows it's coming one way or another. That's right. But it's like Eric, meaning DaCosta, the general manager, can't keep calling him and say, hey, Lamar, you really need to get in here and get this thing done. That's not a GM's job. Kirk Cousins did it that way. What if Lamar says that? I'll play on the 5th year. I'll play on the franchise. I'll play on another franchise, and then you can sign me. And that gives me 3 years to win the Super Bowl, so you could make me a $60 million quarterback because that's where it will be 4 years from now. Then he finished up the owner of the Ravens, Steve Bisciotti, saying that might be the case, but I don't talk to Lamar. It's not my role. I don't know the answer. And I'm sure the people will say, how does an owner not speak to the quarterback? I'm telling you, the man delegates. That's your job. That's your job. And he might speak to Lamar about how are you feeling today? We're going to go win? We're going to go beat the Steelers? Because guess what? I'm going to be up in my suite, and I'm going to be there.
Go
and
get him.
let's go. Go get him.
Yeah.
That's the way he runs his operation. Kind of works more often than not. By the way, he gave John Harbaugh a 3-year extension. That's what he does. Keeps people in their position. But nobody knows what's happening here. And Lamar's like, who's putting it out there? It's kind of you, Lamar, because we don't know how to compute this. Cousins did it, but he did it just, I don't think he did it like on purpose. I'll sit back. It's Washington kept franchise tagging him. And then he finally goes and he finds one team because the Jets are in on it. They don't want him to go to New York. It was like, we'll fully guarantee your contract. We'll not only do that once, we'll do it twice, and then we'll do it a third time. That's the way Kirk Cousins got that. Lamar's kind of doing it on purpose. Or he might be what Steve Bisciotti's saying, I haven't won yet, so I don't deserve that bag. And I'll just keep going because I march to my own beat. I'm not thinking about it. It'll come. I'm not living paycheck to paycheck. I'm cool. And apparently he's working his ass off right now. That's the word.
Yeah, Daniel Jeremiah told us that last week.
Like I told you, I've never seen anything like it before. We may never see anything like it again.
It's a breath of fresh air, really.
You could say that, or it's
madness,
risky,
reckless, man. Yeah.
And the Ravens are like, let's do it.
Well, of course.
But now, Chris, you're caught in that position, right? Because if, like most people, he wants his money, then he's greedy. Now he's not pushing to get the money, and now he's stupid.
Now
for
he's
not getting
reckless.
his money. He's reckless. So it's like,
you know what he is? There's one word for it, and it's something that I guess we all got to learn. One word for it. It's Lamar.
Lamar.
Yeah. We're very pro player on this show.
It's Lamar.
So
It's Lamar. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if he's sitting out there wondering and tweeting it out, like, who's putting it out there? It's you know what? It's kind of like, it's kind of like Costanza. It's not you. It's me. Right. I can't compute it. And it's his world. It's his life. It's his money. It's his bank. It's his bag. It's his body. It's his future. I can't wait to watch this all play out. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.